If you're just starting out with budgeting, and let's be honest, you're already feeling a little bit lost or overwhelmed, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to take 10 really powerful tips and turn them from just a list into a real, actionable, four-phase journey that's going to help you finally get a handle on your money. So let's dive in. I mean, listen to this. This is the question right at the heart of where all this advice comes from. And it's not some hypothetical, right? This is a real result from someone who started out completely broke, literally borrowing money, even using payday advances. It's a pretty incredible turnaround, and it just goes to show you what's possible. And here's the secret sauce. We're not going to try to do everything all at once, because that's how you get overwhelmed and quit. Instead, we're breaking this whole thing down into a structured, really manageable path. The goal is to take you from that feeling of financial stress to a place of stability, one simple phase at a time. All right, first things first. Welcome to phase one, getting your financial bearings. Before you can change anything, you've got to know exactly where you're starting from. This whole phase is about one thing, diagnosis. It is so tempting to jump right in and say, I'm going to save $1,000. But here's a different take. The very first step isn't saving, it's just survival. You have to get your financial house in order before you can even think about building wealth. Put another way, you just can't fix a problem that you don't fully understand. And that understanding starts right here, with the most basic thing in all of finance, your cash flow. It's a simple equation, right? How much money is coming in and how much money is going out. If that money out column is bigger than the money in column, guess what? You've just found your number one priority. Forget saving for a minute. The only goal is to fix that imbalance. So what's the actual plan for this phase? It's really simple. Number one, see your flow. Get brutally honest about what's coming in and what's going out. Two, separate your money. This is a brilliant little trick. Have two checking accounts. One is only for bills, the other is for your spending. That way you can't accidentally spend your rent money. And three, track your spending. Don't judge, don't fix anything yet, just watch. Be a detective and find out where the money is actually going. Okay, so now that we've got a clear picture of what's happening, it's time to start building. Welcome to phase two, building your financial fortress. This is where we start putting up some defenses against the two biggest threats for any beginner, high-interest debt and surprise emergencies. Now, this next tip might feel a little controversial, but it is so powerful. Before you even think about stacking up huge savings, the advice is to aggressively attack your high-interest debt. We're talking second jobs, overtime, whatever you can do. And you might be asking why? Well, it's simple. Paying off that debt is the absolute fastest way to free up your future income. So once you've got a game plan for your debt, it's time to deal with emergencies. And let's be real, that whole $1,000 emergency fund goal can feel totally impossible when you're starting out. So you know what? Forget it for now. The point isn't to hit some magic number overnight. The goal is just to start, to build a little buffer, no matter how small. Let's start with a goal that actually feels doable, just $250. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but if you've been feeling broke for years, having an extra $250 set aside, that is a monumental win. That's a little bit of security. It's proof that you can do this. And once you hit that $250 mark, boom, time for the next milestone, $500. And this is where the magic of momentum really starts to kick in. Each of these small wins builds on the last, and you start to feel less like you're failing and more like you're actually succeeding. Next up, $750. You see what's happening here? We're taking this huge, scary number, and we're just chopping it up into these little, achievable steps. This is how you build the confidence and, more importantly, the habits that'll get you to that $1,000 mark and way beyond. With our financial fortress getting stronger every day, we are ready for phase three, mastering your money tools. Now, we're going to get proactive with some specific tools that give you even more control over your day-to-day spending habits. I love this tip because it's all about the psychology of spending. If you know you always overspend on stuff like eating out or online shopping, try using cash envelopes for those categories. Think about it. Swiping a debit card is so easy, it's almost mindless. But physically handing over cold, hard cash, that makes it feel real. It forces you to pause and actually think about the purchase. It's a little mind game you play on yourself. And trust me, it works. All right, the next tool in our toolbox is a total game changer, sinking funds. If you've never heard that term before, don't worry, it's way simpler than it sounds. These are basically just mini savings accounts that you set up for specific expenses you know are coming. They turn what used to feel like an emergency into just a planned event. This slide just lays it out perfectly. Think about it. You know you're going to need car maintenance. You know the holidays are coming every single year. So why are we always so surprised when those bills show up? By just setting aside a little bit of money each month into these sinking funds, you can have the cash ready and waiting. No stress, no panic, no debt. And our final tool is savings challenges. Now, these can be super fun and motivating, but for a beginner, there's one golden rule. Pick one and commit to it. As this chart kind of shows, if you try to juggle 3 or 4 different savings challenges at once, it's just a recipe for overwhelm and, well, failure. Master one challenge first, then you can think about adding another one. It's that simple. And that brings us to our final, and you could argue the most important phase of all, making your budget stick. Because you can have all the best tools in the world, but they're pretty much useless without the right habits and the right mindset to keep it going for the long haul. Okay, here is a piece of advice that is absolutely crucial. Check in with your budget every week, not once a month. A budget isn't something you just set and forget. The real work, the real progress happens in the tracking. A weekly check-in lets you stay in control. It lets you spot problems when they're small. If you wait a whole month, you're going to look at your spending and be so overwhelmed by the data that you'll just get discouraged and probably give up. And finally, just remember that this whole thing is a marathon, not a sprint. The person whose journey inspired this whole explainer, they didn't get here overnight. Look at that timeline. It took 4.5 years of consistency, 4.5 years of just showing up, tracking the money, and making little adjustments along the way. It's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent, because that's what it really takes to build a better financial future. So at the end of the day, this whole process really boils down to one simple idea: consistency over perfection. It's not about some overnight fix, it's about taking small, consistent actions that get you where you want to go. So now it's your turn. After seeing all this, look back at these 4 phases and just ask yourself, what will be my first step?